weather headline for this week is hot, hot, hot. And on top of that, last night we experienced a lot of rain, flooding, and lightning in the low country. I talked one-on-one with Storm Team 2 meteorologist David Dickson for this special edition of Quintin's Close-Ups. And be sure to download the free Quintin's Close-Ups app in your Apple or Google Play stores. Listen to this interview next week on iHeartRadio. And of course, subscribe to my YouTube channel. David Dickson, welcome to Quintin's Close-Ups.
Thanks for having me.
I appreciate it greatly. Obviously, you're the weekend evening meteorologist here at News 2. And obviously, you have your own feature on channel2.com during the week. It is called Moment of Science.
Exactly. You know, it's a kind of a pun. I've caught myself a couple times. But yeah, Moment of Science only on channel2.com. We explain science for everyday people.
Yeah.
We also explain and dive deeper into individuals and organizations that are using science to make the low country better. It's really awesome if you haven't checked it out.
Check it out. What are those individuals or organizations right now in your mind?
So there's a ton of them. I was really surprised. I moved here just around 7 months ago or so. And within the last 7 months, I've found numerous organizations, everything from using science to actually recreate a growing environment outside of a farm in a shipping container. We have that. We have individuals who explain why there's so many shark teeth here in the low country. We go all over. We talk about chemistry, how it's used in fireworks. What else? We've really covered pretty much everything from meteorology to astronomy and everything far in between.
I'll tell you, a moment of science last night was that lightning and rain and eventually flooding.
It was. You know, that's something we really need to pay attention to here in Charleston and in the low country, especially during these summertime storms. As we've said, they can dump a whole lot of rain in a short amount of time. And since, as you well know, here in the low country, low is part of the name, so we can really flood quite easily, especially downtown.
And I know Rob Farrell said this last night, 1.78 inches here of rainfall here at Channel 2. When you look at the entire region, what else are you looking at from last night?
So what we saw from last night were a couple severe thunderstorm warnings, and we do want to pay attention to those. These aren't going to be widespread severe events. These are going to be localized storms that become a bit on the strong side. And the main risk that we run in with those storms, namely severe storms, is damaging wind gusts, because the criteria for a severe thunderstorm warning is damaging wind gusts and hail. And that's what we're seeing. So even with storms that are sub-severe, they don't fall into those criteria, they can have tons of lightning and in flooding. That is not included in severe thunderstorm warning. So we have to watch out for those, especially for the rest of July, even into August as well.
So what is fact and fiction when it comes to lightning?
There's actually a lot. Part of A Moment of Science, check that out online. I did a couple of the stories on A Moment of Science on lightning. There's a ton of stuff. The whole thing that everyone knows is you can see lightning, you can count the seconds in between timing how far that lightning is away. But you cannot use that timing to kind of estimate how safe you are. If you can hear thunder, you are at risk from being struck by lightning. There's a whole lot of other ones, like lightning never strikes the same place twice. That's certainly not the case. If you've ever heard of lightning rods, which actually allow for lightning to strike at highest point, it would be kind of silly for it to be a single use only. So we go into that. We also go into how people are struck by lightning, because there's a lot of interesting statistics that the National Weather Service has kind of put together over the past 30 years in terms of lightning fatalities, because it's one of the largest weather-related fatalities on hand all throughout the nation. In fact, it's deadlier over the course of the past 30 years than tornadoes as well as hurricanes.
What should we be looking out for now? Because a lot of people, like myself, I carry around the metal at a tripod sometimes. What should we do if we do hear lightning?
So the best thing is just to immediately head inside. Inside is the safest place to be in a thunderstorm. If you are out and about, maybe far away from a place that's inside, whether it's a building, what have you, car is the next best option with an enclosed roof. So that does not include golf carts, it does not include convertibles, ATVs, anything like that. You need an enclosed roof, a hardtop roof at that. But also before you're out and about, whether you're shooting like yourself or you're out at a fishing trip, camping trip, what have you, watch the forecast beforehand so you have a better idea, and so you can go ahead and plan worst case emergency route if a thunderstorm actually moves into your area.
And you talk about the forecast, obviously it's hot, hot, hot.
It is. It's, we're still seeing temperatures well above 90 degrees, which average for this time of year is right around the low 90s. But taking into account that low country humidity, it feels a whole lot hotter than that. The good news is by the middle of next week, the end of July, temperatures are going to start to decline a bit, at least momentarily. Long-range weather forecasts are coming into agreement about that. So instead of the 90s, mid-90s at that, we're talking about the upper 80s by the end of the month. And then good news is still going to be very hot, still going to see 90-plus degree weather in August. But by the middle of August, our average high, which I said was in the low 90s, will start to decline. We're getting closer and closer to fall.
Now, what are the tips if we're out here right now? Because I've been changing my shirt at least 3-4 times.
Yeah, I want to look to us in terms of what to wear because we have long sleeves, dark colored clothing, lightweight, loose fitting clothing, as well as light colored clothing. Because if you've ever worn a black shirt or a dark colored shirt, it warms up a whole lot faster compared to a white shirt. So do that. Also drink plenty of water. Kind of gauge your own well-being because the thing is with these very hot days, it's not a single day that gets you down. It's consecutive days where it kind of wears you down more and more and more. So kind of gauge yourself. Also check in on friends and neighbors to make sure they're good as well.
They're good as well. Obviously, before you came to Channel 2, I know you were up in the D.C. region.
I was.
As a meteorologist.
So I actually went to school up just north of us in Raleigh, NC State, go Pack.
Yeah.
But then I spent 2 years at a sister station within the same Nexstar family up in Hagerstown. So that's around an hour or so away from DC and Baltimore. So a little bit different weather, a lot more snow, a lot less hurricanes.
And they just had a recent flood event as well there.
Yes, so a little bit of a different type of flooding, and flooding is really key up there, but it's mainly river flooding. So here we really encounter coastal flooding as well as flash flooding. Up there it was river flooding, but yeah, no stranger to flooding, especially in forecasting. And I know obviously you got a love for weather really when you were growing up in Arkansas. Yeah, I'm actually from Arkansas. It's hard to believe because I don't have too much of an accent. My family's from further up in the Northeast, but that's why I wanted to become a meteorologist. I grew up in Arkansas, the heart of Tornado Alley. So tornadoes were really part of life in Arkansas from around March all the way into May. That's the tornado season for that area there. And so I woke up every night, with these sounds of thunder, and I always looked to the news as kind of a sense of comfort and watching them kind of comfort everyone as well as give them good information. So I knew that was always what I wanted to watch. Also, I watched Twister way too many times. Way too many times, but it was a good movie. Love that movie.
Good movie indeed. So, moment of silence, science, what can we expect next from that?
Ooh, we got a lot of stuff. So the end of this week, we're rounding out a few series on the 50th anniversary of the Apollo mission to the moon. So it was really interesting with that. We talked to a low country resident up in Somerville who was actually part of the Apollo mission. So we have Apollo 11, his efforts in 13. We're also going to be going more into the geology of Charleston, as well as the geology of the moon and beyond that. So we got that. We're also going to be talking about weather balloons, severe weather, a whole lot of stuff, and all of it is easy to find on our website. And none of them really, except for a few talking about fireworks and all of that, you don't need to really go back and see each one. So if you're ever interested in something science related, just go ahead and click one and fall deep into that hole.
What is the state of meteorology these days?
So the meteorology is ever expanding. A lot of the focus now is on climatology. But in terms of meteorology, what we're doing, what is really changing very fast is radar technology. Radar technology gives us an eye of the storm, seeing things that are falling down from the storm. So it can't see clouds. It's just particles that radar picks up on are too fine in cloud droplets. But radar technology really is expanding, and it does allow us to have the best forecasting tool in severe weather. So I think that is really what's expanding as well.
That is so great to hear. Well, David Dickson, thank you for your time. Again, welcome to Quintin's Close-Ups.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.